What's up guys, Quo here, and welcome to the first month in review where we'll be going over some of the best records set during this month. Before we get started though, as this is the first video, there are bound to be some things that need fixing, so please leave feedback either on Twitter or comments below if you feel it's necessary. If you want to keep it anonymous, there's a Google form you can fill out and I'll give it a read. Forums and other stuff can be found in the description below. Now without further ado, onto the runs. First off, we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time beaten in 17 minutes and 13 seconds by Torji. If you followed Ocarina of Time any time in the past 2 years, you'll know that this time is getting right down to the wire. Only a handful of seconds are left to be saved, with current strats anyways. If you haven't seen an OOT run, then first of all, shame on you. Second of all, this run is nothing short of amazing. Movement is smooth, mistakes are few and far between, and the run itself is extremely well executed. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam for the 3DS, beaten in 58 minutes 20 seconds by Bunnybee. If you've seen a run of this game's predecessor, Superstar Saga, which is known in the speedrunning community to be a glitchy mess, you'll be happy to hear that Paper Jam follows closely in its footsteps. Less than 10 minutes into the run, you end up out of bounds. Other than that, you tackle a few toads, skip a bit more of the game, learn a few tricks, more out of bounds, and eventually the game just gives up on checking collision. Paper Jam is an absolute treat to watch beginning to end, and goes to show that even new games can be riddled with glitches. Next up, we have Dishonored 2 beaten by someone else in 27:02 in-game time, 31:45 RTA. Much like you would expect any speedrun of a stealth game, the movement is fast, and there's not much stealth. There's still no shortage of thefts and killings. They're all just done in a way that are both fast and indetectable to the enemy's eyes, most of the time anyways. Much like the first game in the series, Dishonored 2 has access to the blinking mechanic, which both increases the movement tech and can let you clip out of bounds. There's no shortage of glitches in this run either. Mr. NPC, please tell us what you think of this run.
This is more exciting than any orgy I've ever attended.
Definitely something worth watching if you have a half hour to burn. I'm not going to talk about this next run as much, mostly because if I start running my mouth, the run will be over. But here we've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 beaten in 3 minutes and 3 seconds by Gwished. The run is short, fast, and technical, and if you've never seen a Tony Hawk speedrun, it is something else. The run that should need no introduction. Here we have Super Mario Sunshine in 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 58 seconds by Nindide. Dide has proved himself to be the master of this game time and time again, stretching the gap between first and second place to a whole minute now, which is impressive in itself, but even more so if you consider the fact that Sunshine has over 650 any% runs. Dide is still working on pushing this time lower, so be on the lookout for that, but until then, check out this run, because it's not something you'll want to miss out on. Superhot is a fairly straightforward game. The game moves when you do and stops if you don't move. As you can imagine, this run doesn't stop very often, you know, the whole going fast thing. Anyways, if that wasn't enough, Superhot was released for VR earlier in December, and here we have Bean with a time of 13:10. The video I'm showing right now isn't actually the 13:10 because the record just kept dropping. but his time is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of a little more unorthodox runs. The run is fast, fun, and, well, it's on VR, of course it's amazing. For quite a long time, Super Metroid has been a staple run of the Games Done Quick marathons, and for good reasons. There are very few other games with such high technical ceilings. Fun little fact, the term 80% in speedrunning actually comes from the Metroid community. But this isn't about 80%, this is about Behemoth and his 100% speedrun in 1:14:52 or 44 minutes according to the in-game timer. On one hand, there's so much to talk about in this run, but on the other hand, the run does quite a good job at speaking for itself. If you're a fan of the series, be sure to give this run a watch. Next up, we have Mario Kart 64 All Cups in 26:19 by Abney. Before you start scratching your head at how the time is that low, this run does use skips in quite a few courses. Actually in most courses. Everything from jumping over walls to hopping out of balance to intentionally falling in the water to skip large parts of the courses are all used. Don't be fooled though, this game is still a driving game at heart, and Abney is a top runner in both time trials and Grand Prix, both the skips and no skips categories. The execution is impressive, and the skips keep the run fresh at every turn. And we're already on our last game of the month. Here we got Super Mario World. Classic Mario in 2D with 2 buttons dedicated to jumping. You can't go wrong with a good Super Mario World run. Here we have Poggio with a 1446 in low percent, which in simple terms is no power-ups and no Yoshis. With only a few restrictions, the game actually changes quite a bit. Anything from different courses to different texts should be expected in this run, and the restrictions bring out nothing short of creativity. So if you're not a fan of keeping over levels, this is the run for you. Now we're not yet done with SMW. A new 96 exit record was set by Stephen1704 with a time of 1:22:59, and if there's only one run you can put time aside to watch, it absolutely has to be this one. I can't seem to find the right words to justly explain how impressive this run is, so I'll put simply, it makes water levels in a 2D Mario game not boring. Let that sink in for a little. All jokes aside, this run features everything from jumps, auto-scroller skips, a full turn through Star World and the Special World, and much, much more to be excited about. So that's just about it to close out 2016. I hope y'all enjoyed and be on the lookout for the next video. Thanks for watching.